Hey guys, this is Tom from Virtual Tours Creator, and this is the ultimate guide on how to create virtual reality tours for real estate and real estate only. There is plenty of different advice on the internet, but if you are interested in real estate and real estate only, this is the tutorial that you want to see. We focus only on real estate. I've done probably 100 or more virtual reality tours myself. If you're shooting with one-click cameras, not DSLR, this is the tutorial for you. This is what you want to hear, and this is what is going to give you, I hope, all the knowledge that I have, and I hope there's not much left. So if you're ready, let's go.
In this part, I'll talk about tripod setup and camera leveling, stitch line and camera position, front of camera, one lens rule, property view, exposure, entrance photos, and the doors.
Hey guys, so let's start from the beginning and setting up the camera, the tripod, and taking our first shot from the outside of the house. Where we're gonna start is setting up the tripod. So the height of the tripod, the height of the camera should probably be somewhere between your belly button and your chest, no higher than that. That's for real estate. And also the tripod legs shouldn't be further away from each other than 1 foot. And that's gonna allow us not to have any tripod in our photos when we look down at the ground. Although when it's windy like today, I wouldn't take the risk of the tripod falling over, so I would go really wide and I wouldn't worry about the tripod being visible in the photos. Once we get that done, we have to level the camera. So we have a little leveling bubble on our tripods that we supply with the starter kits from Virtual Tours Creator, and that allows you to just manually adjust the leveling. Also, some of you are asking why not use monopod, because it leaves a smaller footprint. When you're gonna go and shoot a house that's on a slope or it's really windy, the monopod is not gonna cut it. You're gonna have to carry some weights with you, so you're safer with getting a tripod. Once we get the camera and tripod set up, and we turn on the camera for taking our first photo, the most important thing that I want you to remember is the stitch line that's created by the place where both of the lenses of the cameras connect. And it's usually along the edge of the camera. And the first rule that you have to remember is always point the edge of the camera towards the strongest source of light. And what that means outside, it's usually the sun. You can't see the sun now, but I'll show you it on the photo in a second. And you can see that when we point the camera directly into the sun, there's no line. You can't see any line. But if we had the camera facing one lens towards the sun, this side of the lens would get more light. This one would get less, and then you would get a line across half of your 360 photo, which would show that half of the photo is brighter, half is darker. That's why you always have to point the edge of the camera towards the strongest source of light. And I wanted to say that the easiest way to do it is to align the edge of the camera with the shadow that you can see. But the sun just decided to hide behind the clouds. But I'll show it to you on an attached photo in this video. Now, another very important thing is the camera, even though it doesn't have a front, it does. And as you can see, there's lights in front of the camera. These lights mean this is the front lens. And it only matters for our Virtual Tours Creator solution when you're gonna want to share your virtual tour onto Facebook. Now, Facebook will only recognize the metadata from the photo and will put a preview of the photo that we choose as a Facebook cover. Now, if you're not gonna have those lights facing towards the house, and facing towards the other side of the street, people will see the neighbor's house on the Facebook cover instead of seeing this beautiful house that we want to sell. So always remember, point the front of the camera towards the main point of interest, which is the house in this instance. Also, a very important thing, coming back to the stitch line, is today we are lucky because the stitch line is just here. So we can have the whole house in one lens. And it's very important for you guys to remember it because usually on the stitch line, the sharpness is lost a bit. And that's why you don't want to point the edge of the camera somewhere in the middle of the house, because this will make it a bit blurry right in the middle. So remember about having the main point of interest in one of the lenses. One very important thing that I forgot to mention is obviously have the entrance to the house visible from the position where you take the photo of the outside of the house, so then you can naturally progress inside of the house from the outside just simply by putting the hotspot on the door. One very important thing that I want to show you is the exposure. When you're outside and the sun is really bright like now, as you can see on the screen, you want to dim it down a bit to get this nice color of the blue sky. So what you have to use is those three sliders up here that give you the access to your exposure settings. And all you have to do is click on that icon, and if the sun is really strong, you have to dim it down. So let's say I'm going to take it down to -2. And look what happens with the sky. It gets nice and blue and the clouds are not so bright. So we are taking down the overexposure of the sky. But you also have to be careful, because then the house, that is our main point of view, might get a bit too dark. So this is the little game you have to play with the exposure. Maybe -1. Or maybe we're just gonna have to leave it at -1/2. So the choice is yours. This is the setting that you have to use. We can now move inside of the house and start shooting next panorama. After coming from the street, we have to have one photo just of the entrance. I advise to have the door open always, anywhere you are, inside of the house or outside. And it's as simple as that. Put the camera in front of the door, open the door and take your photo.